Good morning, dear students. In today's class, we will discuss about teaching learning process. So, this particular explanation of teaching learning process we have already discussed in the last class. So, it is the means through which the teacher, the learner, the curriculum, and other variables are organized in a systematic manner in order to attain predetermined goals and objectives. So, this is actually an interaction happens between the teacher learner with the curriculum and other variables in order to attain the predetermined goals and objectives. So we have certain objectives, we are trying to fulfill that particular objectives through the interaction between the teacher, learner and the curriculum, and also there are certain other variables also. So we have already discussed the communication also, the initial communication, second communication, feedback information. These are the three ways of communication which happens in a teaching learning process. Initial communication from the teacher to the student with the content, with the objectives she will be communicating with the students. Second communication is from the part of students. She will be processing the information which received from the teacher and she will be giving the message back to the teacher. And after weighing this particular information which is received from the student, she will be grading it whether it is correct or not. If it is not correct, again she will be communicating the initial communication after rectifying the communication which is received from the student. So this is the process and it is continuous. Initial, second and feedback information is continuously it is going on in the teaching learning process. So next we can see the elements of teaching learning process. So there are definitely certain elements which are involved in the teaching learning process and interacting within the teaching learning process. The first one is a learner. So definitely to complete the teaching learning process, the important or the center of the teaching learning process is definitely the learner. So the learner has certain characteristics. That means the learner should be active. The learner should be in a receptive manner to receive the information from the teacher, and also she has to process the informations whatever things is received from the teacher using her or his neurological system, and other organs should be or other organ system should be functional, and she should activate these all activities and she has to process the information, and the feedback is also given by the student. So that is a active learner is important in teaching learning process. So learner, that means an active learner is important. The next one is a teacher. Teacher should know the student, and depending upon the student she has to prepare the content and she has to give the information to the student. So the teacher should have the capacity to understand the student, and also she has to prepare the content, prepare the lectures, prepare the information, and also she has to deliver to the student according to the pace of the student. So that is the role of teacher. The next is a series of learning objectives. So the teacher will be with a set of learning objectives. So for today, my objectives will be set like I have to explain the teaching learning process. I have to explain the communications, levels of communication, and I have to list down and explain regarding the elements of teaching learning process. So there is a series of learning objectives with the teacher, and depending upon that she has to prepare the content and deliver the information to the student. So that is a series of learning objectives. The next one is a sequence of stimulus response situations. So the stimulus is given by the teacher and the student has to give the response. So this stimulus response situations are happening in a sequence. So then the teaching learning activities happens. So stimulus is given by the teacher and response is the response which is given by the student. So when the teacher is giving a stimulus, the receptive activity by the student will give the response back to the teacher. So this both will activate the teaching learning process, stimulus response situations. Reinforcement of that behavior, that a correct behavior should be reinforced. If the student is giving a positive activity or positive response, the teacher has to give the reinforcement. Or if the student is not performing in a correct manner, the teacher has to give a negative reinforcement also. So, not only the positive reinforcement, the reinforcement of the behavior is important, positive and the negative. And positive reinforcement, we are trying to make that student to repeat that particular behavior, and negative reinforcement, we are trying to modify the behavior. So that is the reinforcement of behavior. Next one is the monitoring, assessment and evaluation. So delivering the information is the teacher what she is doing, and we have to do the monitoring of the student, assessment of the student and evaluation of the student to how far the set of objective is met by the student. So that will be evaluated, that is assessed and monitored by the teacher, so that the student will be getting the information to how far or to what level the objective is set and met by the student. So that's why we are doing the evaluation of the student, to how far or to what level the objectives are achieved by the student, that will be evaluated by the teacher. So these are the elements of teaching learning process. The first one is a learner, that is an active learner. A teacher, an efficient teacher. A series of learning objectives. So these objectives, finally we will be evaluating the student based on the objectives. The next one is a sequence of stimulus response situations. Another one is reinforcement of the behavior. That means positive and negative reinforcement is the, if a behavior is appropriate, we have to repeat that particular activity by the positive reinforcement, and if it is not appropriate, we have to provide the negative reinforcement so that the student will be able to correct it, modify it. The next one is the monitoring, assessment and evaluation. So these are the elements of teaching learning process. Hope you all are clear with the elements of teaching learning process. So we will be moving to the learning, details of learning. First one is characteristics of learning. So learning is growth. Learning is growth, that is, usually we will be telling growth in terms of increasing in size of the body or size of any part of the body in pediatrics. But here learning is growth, that means the growth of the individual is complete with learning. So the completion of the learning, the completion of the growth of the individual happens with the learning. So size is increasing, that doesn't mean that the person is growing. We have to have a learning, that is, he has to modify the behavior or change behavior according to the growth of the individual. This change is happening because of the learning. So that is the first characteristic of learning, that is, learning is growth. Learning is adjustment, that means the person will be able to, every time we are telling the purpose of education, purpose of learning, everything is making adjustment with the environment. So learning makes the person to adjust with his changing environment, changing needs, and he will be able to lead a successful life in the environment. That is, learning is adjustment. Learning is organizing experience. So that means when we are learning something, the experience will be organized. So from small classes we will be learning so many things, but now everything is in arranged and organized manner so that it will be useful for our own life. So we are organizing the experiences through learning. Learning is purposeful. We can say that learning is purposeful. That means we have the objectives, and according to that objectives learning will be happening, and it will be useful also for our own life. Learning is purposeful. Next is learning is intelligent. That means to learn, we should have an active neurological system, and we have to use the intelligence and other internal power so that learning happens. So, our memory, our intelligence, everything will be influencing our learning and our learning capacities. So, that's why we can say that learning is intelligent, and the next one is learning is active. So, when you are trying to listen very simply without motivation, you cannot remember what all things we are discussing now. If you are active and involving in learning very actively, if you have a pencil and pen with you, if you are writing the notes, you are active. Otherwise you are not active and you are just listening to the my video or to my voice. It doesn't mean that you are active. If you are active, you will have a pen, paper, and you will be trying to remember what are things it is discussed earlier and what are things I am telling now. So learning is active. If the learner is active, learning happens. Otherwise no learning happens. So that's why we can say that learning is active. Other characteristics are learning is both individual and social. So, some learning happens individually and some happens in social area also. That means we can say that individuals' abilities, capacities, intelligence, everything is a factor of learning. Definitely. But the society with which he interacts, the friends with which he interacts, through that also some learning happens. So we can say that the type of company which we have and with which we interact, depending upon the learning changes. So that is a learning is both individual and social. That means the learning is definitely an intellectual and other capacities of the individual will be the determining factor. But also we can say that the social factors are also a determinant factor for the learning. So maybe the family, the friends, and other environment in which we are interacting definitely influence the learning of the individual. Next one is learning is the productive environment. So that is a continuation of the previous point. So the environment with which we interact, if we get a sufficient good enriched experience in the environment, we learn better or more comparing to a poor environment or uh, poor stimulus. So that is a learning is the productive environment. Learning happens depending upon the environment with which we interact. It can be the family, society, and also the friends. Learning affects the conduct of the learner. Conduct of the learner will be modified depending upon the learner or depending upon the learning. So, positive conduct or positive behavior of the person will be there if we learn better. So that is a change in learning is the change in the behavior. Change in the behavior will be happening when we learn more. Our conduct will be or our behavior will be better comparing to the previous one. So that is a learning affects the conduct of the learner. Learning takes place through trial and error. So when we want to study some topic, we will be reading that. If we are not properly remember that, again we will be writing down. We will be by hearting it. We will be making the points, important points. So it is a trial and error method, and finally we complete the learning. So that is a learning takes place through trial and error methods. Learning depends upon insights. So whenever we are writing an essay, not only the points which we by hearted comes into our mind, some insight, our previous experiences also will be coming as a flash of ideas. So that is also an important aspect in learning. That is, it is depending upon insights of the individual. Some insights also will come through learning, or learning happens through our insights also. So these are the characteristics of learning. That is, learning is growth, learning is adjustment, learning is organizing experience, learning is purposeful, learning is intelligent, learning is active, learning is both individual and social, learning is the product of environment, learning affects the conduct of the learner, learning takes place through trial and error, learning depends upon insights. So these are the characteristics of learning. Next we can see some of the factors that influence learning. Factors that influence learning. The first one is learning experiences and the behavioral objectives. So depending upon the learning experiences which we provide to the student and the objectives which we set for the students, the learning will be happens. So if we provide a good learning experience depending upon our objective, learning will be better. If the objectives are not set properly, if the experiences are not provided to the students appropriately in a rich environment, the learning happens in a poor manner, or the quality of learning will be poor. So that's the first factor. So what experience we provide to the student, what objective which we set to the student. So depending upon the information which is given by the teacher, definitely the learning will be poor or good. The next one is teaching learning environment. So when you are telling about the teaching learning environment, first of all, maybe the theory classes, if you are taking the class, environment of the class is very important. The lighting, the seating arrangements, the ventilation, everything is influencing factor for learning. And if you're talking about a clinical environment, the type of patients admitted, the provide opportunities which we are providing to the students for doing the procedures, so that definitely influence the environment. When we are talking about the online platforms where you are sitting, maybe in front of the TV or in front of any other backgrounds, and when you are using the mobiles, the WhatsApps and other messages and notifications which come in your mobiles, everything will be influencing factors of teaching learning. So teaching learning environment is an important factor for learning. The next one is motivation towards objectives. That means, especially when you are talking about the motivation is like opening the mind. Okay, opening the mind. So this motivation can happen in different manner. That teacher is giving the encouragement for learning, that is a motivation. Your interest towards the teacher, that means if you like the teacher or if you if you hate the teacher, that is again another motivation for the learning. If the teacher is very harsh and hard, and you hate the teacher, or you fear the teacher, that is again another way of motivation. So that is the different types of motivation towards learning, towards the objectives. So we have to keep the mind open so that more learning happens. That is a motivation towards objectives. We have to encourage the students to open their mind to receive the information. So this motivation can happen, or motivation is very important towards the subject, towards teaching. And if there is a good motivation among the students, more learning will be happening. The next one is individual differences. Definitely we have to consider the individual differences. Some may be liking to learn by writing down, some may will be repeating the words. So these individual differences, depending upon the student's pace only, they will be learning. So intelligence will be the student's background will be the, so these all will be the another different individual characteristics will be depending upon the learning. Some may be slow learners, some may be advanced learners. So these all will be coming in the individual differences. So these are the some of the factors that influence learning. learning experiences and behavioral objectives, teaching learning environment, motivation towards objectives, and individual differences. So, hope you all are clear with some of the factors of learning. So, I will be stopping the video now. Thank you. Thank you for your kind listening.